Hey everyone, welcome to this week's Marketing Monday episode number 3. I'm going to just add that here. For those of you who have just joined this group, I want to share with you briefly what Marketing Monday is all about, and then we'll get right to it. So Marketing Monday are typically, 5, 10, 15-minute clips that are covering things like personal branding or marketing your business, out-of-the-box ideas. Really trying to make it so that you are relevant in the marketplace and potential prospects come to you rather than you having to do all the searching yourself. So today I want to go through some very practical things. I have my notes over here, so if you see me look down, that is why. But I want to talk about how to add real value to the marketplace. I'm just going to be typing along here, and if you have any questions, obviously feel free to let me know. So the first thing is we want to focus on adding actual real value. So what are the current problems that we have right now? So number one, and I mentioned this before in other videos, we just typically use company shared content. So if you happen to be connected either on Facebook or LinkedIn with a handful of people at the same company, you'll notice that when there's a new article, they all share it. As a result, we as consumers, or the prospects as consumers, tend to just tune that stuff out and don't even really pay attention to it. So I want to share how we can actually spice that up a little bit. One of the issues with that is a lot of the times advisors don't even read it. I know me specifically, I'm guilty of that. Some of you who are listening may say, no, I read all of those. I'm willing to bet that that's a very, very small percentage, but we're sharing stuff out there that we're not even reading ourselves. I think that part of it can be a little disingenuous because things all lead back to let's chat more, right? So basically we're adding some sort of value or sharing some sort of story and then inviting them to come back and basically take a meeting with us. But I don't think that that's bad to do. I just don't think it should be done every single time. I think that it's important to somewhat confuse your audience and your prospects as to what this person is adding all this value, but not asking for anything in return. So I think that, call it, if you're posting, once a day, maybe 20% of it, there could be some sort of call to action. And I think that that would be totally okay. I think that a lot of the times that the information is very generic. It's, retirement focused, or it is, just call it blanket statements, things that, aren't very specific to that audience. They aren't the pain points. Basically, it's all the stuff that we get compensated on. And I think when you really add true value, it's with helping clients and prospects understand things that maybe we don't get compensated on, like budgeting or paying down debt. And we're going to go through some of that as we go through the solution section. I think that one of my biggest pet peeves is when we share industry trends, topics, ideas, things like that. And the reason why that's one of my pet peeves is at the end of the day, people work with us as advisors because we should be knowing that stuff, right? We should be on top of that stuff, which a lot of us are, but those are, the bits and pieces of information that people, may not really care about. And they just want to focus on things that they can do themselves, like the budgeting, like the paying down of debt, not, how the stock market did yesterday or the day before in more of a micro, or looking through a micro lens. They want to look at it more through, a macro lens and, how that's relevant to maybe their overall strategy. And maybe some of those, industry trends, topics, ideas are more suited for, maybe a more one-on-one setting. So what are some solutions that we can do? Let's see. So I think right off the bat, it's all about more personalized content. So if you don't want to create your own content, at least share maybe a summary or your personal experience with the company content that you're sharing. So rather than just sharing the article, like you're literally just clicking, share, add your own personal message. So if it is about, retirement, share with them how maybe you went from being a bad saver to a good saver, or why it is you are always a good saver and how that's impacted your life today, right? People want to, see what's under the hood, so to speak, and they want to, understand your journey as well. So don't be afraid to put yourself out there. I think that a lot of value can be added through video content. So think about, some topics that I wrote down here are budgeting, paying down debt, refinancing student loans, education planning, maxing out your company match in, let's just assume, a 401k. What is a target date fund? Right, all these things that a lot of times we as advisors take for granted as being common sense, right? Things that we understand really well. These are things that our clients, by and large, are lost on. And they really don't have much help in this space. Reason being is because a lot of, us as advisors don't get paid for this stuff. And as a result, we tend to, shy towards focusing on the topics that we do get compensated on and assume that they already know how to budget, or they already know which debt to pay down, or they've already refinanced their student loans, right? Or, we just say, hey, pick a target date fund, but we don't actually give them guidance as to what that actually is. So I think that one of the opportunities here is not only are you adding true value and you're getting them to go and implement something, get better because of it, come back, learn more, implement it, get better because of it. What you're doing is you're creating that trust with that prospect without actually having to sit down with them on a one-on-one basis. And based on these topics here, specifically budgeting, paying down debt, refinancing student loans, what you're doing is you're allowing that client to basically get themselves into a position to be able to work with you in a much higher capacity, because they're going to, be able to save more money, or they're going to get rid of some of their debt, which will free up some more cash flow to be able to actually work with you. So I just think we're missing the boat as it relates to helping them with some of the ancillary stuff. The other thing that we can do is bring in other experts, right? So think maybe an attorney to talk about estate planning, basic wills and trust. Think about, a mortgage, excuse my spelling, mortgage broker. Think about, real estate agent, right? Because what's going to happen here is you're going to be adding more value, right, with other areas, again, that you don't get compensated on. These attorneys, these mortgage brokers, these real estate agents, they're going to be willing to shoot a video with you, or maybe do, a podcast style interview. It doesn't have to be video, because they're getting access to your audience as well. And, maybe someone's in a position to where they want to get their basic estate planning done, and they're going to call that attorney, right? Or maybe they are in a position to where they are looking for a house. They're going to, reach out to that mortgage broker, and guess what? You were the guy or you were the girl that, made that happen, made that connection. So it's going to further develop the trust with that audience. And to wrap it up in terms of just your overall energy, you got to be, super fun. Oh, let's get rid of that. Got to be super fun, energetic, and don't overthink that stuff. Like right now, I'm not like flailing my arms everywhere and, being sort of in your face or anything like that. But what I am doing is I'm being real, I'm being raw, and I'm being genuine, right? To the point where I couldn't even spell mortgage broker for a second. So, people don't want to see this rehearsed sort of, person on the other end of the screen that is, sharing these ideas. They want to see someone who's real, right? People relate to people who are like them. And if you're absolutely perfect in your delivery, they know that they're like, oh, well, I'm not perfect, so I can't work with that person, right? So I would just encourage you all to be real, be raw, be genuine. Try to add that real, genuine value, the things that you don't get compensated on. And I think that what you'll find is people will start reaching out to you. So as an example, I'll share a personal story. As I was transitioning out of my career as a financial advisor to focus on the Financial Advisors Alliance, I started working on building a personal brand, simply on Facebook and Instagram. And what happened through that journey, I was posting every day. I was trying to add value to others. It wasn't just a look at me type thing. It was, hey, here's what I learned and here's what I'm doing, and bringing people along for the journey. And what happened is my last month as an advisor, I had people reaching out to me, and I walked out of that company with just about $10,000 in commissions on the various products that people came to me looking for. And I didn't pick up the phone once to actually call them. So not saying that you're going to get the results in, 10 days or 30 days or anything like that. This is a long-term play. But because I was relevant and I was in front of my audience, right? When people thought about financial planning, people thought about insurance, people thought about investments, I was the person that they reached out to because I had helped them in areas that they needed help on previously, like maybe personal stuff or getting back into the gym or budgeting or whatever it may be. And they've gone and implemented that. It's worked. So why wouldn't it work if they came to me for insurance and investment planning? Because they've already proven to themselves that the information that I'm sharing with them is accurate and it works, right? So just to recap here, I want to go back up to the top. Don't just click share on your company content. Please at least write a personal message if you're going to do it. At the very least, at least read the content so you know whether or not it's relevant to the audience. So like if you work primarily with, young families and you're talking about, complex estate tax issues for people in their 60s and 70s, don't share that, right? Because if they see that there's an article that isn't relevant to them and they see that over and over and over again, well, every article that you post moving forward, they're probably not going to take seriously. Make sure to avoid industry trends or topics or ideas, or at least ask them, hey, put it out to the audience, right? Do a poll on Instagram. Do, just ask them, hey, is it important for you to know the nitty gritty about the market, or do you want to know just more, generalized planning topics and strategies and things like that? So make it more personal. Video content is huge, especially on LinkedIn. LinkedIn's algorithm right now is favoring videos. That's why you've seen me posting some videos here and there. The reach is massive. And, leverage other professionals as well. And again, remember to be real, raw, authentic, genuine, fun, and energetic. And I know that you'll start getting a ton of results from, actually putting yourself out there and helping people in various areas. And, don't get discouraged if someone gives you, if there's only 1 or 2 likes on your post or whatever. Just put yourself out there, and I know that over time people will become more interactive with your post. So don't let that discourage you right when you get started. So I hope this was helpful. If there is someone that you think should be listening to this, please invite them over to the Facebook group. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Subscribe to our podcast channel. Our goal is to be able to add as much value as possible. So the more people we have here, the more collaboration opportunities there are, the more people that we're able to impact. So I appreciate you guys tuning in today, and I will see you next week. Take care.